Right. Hey, what's going on, guys? How is everyone doing? So today's stream, we're going to be focusing on level management. Menthol. Tom F stuff was awesome, really great assets too. Yeah, thank you. You can thank Al Heck, who's the artist for all of the official Unity courses. He does all of the art and it's incredible. So he actually is going to start streaming while I'm not streaming. We're going to be sharing the stream channel here. So he does stream the art pipeline of furthering development on this game, and I do the code pipeline. So currently, I showed off a little bit of this last time, but Al created some new menu items, and we're going to get into level management. So in course 3, there's going to be extended content specific to level management. So there will be a tutorial about how to create something like this from scratch. Might be a little different. But there'll be extended content for level management. But for here, what we're going to be creating today is we're going to fix the functionality so that when I hit the start button, we get here. We can select something on our map. We need to be able to scroll this map. And then when I select a gold icon, that means that we've completed this level and I can play it again. So in order for it to turn gold, you have to beat the level. So Ghoul's Tomb, you have to beat 2 and 3 for that to happen, or get to treasure here. All right, so essentially what needs to happen here is I need to select the pit. And once I select the pit, also make sure, let me know, guys, if the audio volumes are too low, too loud, or whatever. But basically, once I select the pit, we're going to go ahead and create a system where this scroll is going to pop up. So if I click the pit, this needs to happen. We have a scroll here with detailed information about the selected level. So we need to be able to create some sort of system that's dynamic that we can just pass in some text for a header, text for a body. And then when you basically, you can X out of this, or you can hit start to begin the level. And if you want to, you can go back to the main menu. All right, so that's what we're going to be creating today. And Al created some cards in Trello to track how he would like it to function. So let's take a look at this. So here he created, so for the map, we need all levels that are inaccessible to be silver. All right, so it's 2 cards here. All right, so add map feature where if player presses on a level that is playable, which is gold, the scroll comes up. Inside the scroll, we need a component to adjust the level header and body text. The ability to close the scroll with the red X. In the scroll text, let's have that animate on a per character basis. So basically like a typewriter where it kind of types on the screen, because I think he wants to add some voiceover to that. All right, next we have, for the map, we need all levels. Let's see here, for the map, we need all levels that are inaccessible to be silver. The furthest level in the game progress-wise is where the idle player icon will sit. Okay, so the levels that have been completed by the player will be gold. We need to create logic so that the player can always revisit older levels, but not the new ones, or open their scrolls. We also need to set it up so when a player beats a level, they come back to the map screen, and we should animate the player icon advancing to the next point, as well as the previous level turning into a gold icon. All right, so there's quite a lot. We're not going to be able to get to everything today. I need to talk to Al about how he wants to animate this character. So basically what's going to happen here is we have this animated character who's going to scroll along here with a red line. You could think of it as. And yeah. So that's the idea, right? So in order to get something like that, I need to talk to Al about what he wants to do in terms of animation-wise, how he wants to do that. We're probably going to create maybe an animation curve that we'll follow. So if that's the case, we'll be creating probably an editor tool to do that. And we'll live stream that as well. And then the red line is going to be a fill. So we'll have to figure out how we want that to work. All right, so first thing first, let's at least get the menu functioning to where we can close things. So let's go here. And by the way, guys, during the stream, if you have any questions about game development or these courses or Unity or anything like that, please feel free to ask them. If you, I saw you guys, a lot of you, for those who tuned in for Al's stream, the art pipeline, definitely super chatty. So feel free to ask whatever questions you guys have. So the first thing I need to do here is I'm going to go into our map. Let's try enable this, and we're going to disable the main menu. And let's see here. I'm not sure why I can't see it. Let me see. So here, oh, it's because of the black fade. All right, so here's what we need to do for this map. So right now, main menu works. There's no flash, so we'll have to check on that to make sure there's a flash. But basically, when I open the scroll, so we want to be able to close this scroll. So to do that, it's really simple. We can actually just do all this functionality directly on this object. So here on the scroll, it should have a button here. So it has a close button. And basically, we're just going to tell it to close itself. So to do that, we can add a component here, tell it to close itself, and we can do the same thing for the start menu. The start menu, it's going to close itself, and then it's going to communicate with our level manager, and it's actually going to load the proper scene. Time stuff is on really great S2. Sorry, a little out of this tutorial. How to make a smoother effect for trail renderer. Which material should I prefer to? A smoother effect for trail renderers? If you want something smooth that's, I guess, smoother than a trail renderer, you'd have to create some sort of custom fade effect or a custom movement system. You can use the animation system to animate the trail. And that would probably give you a lot smoother. Let's see. So what do we want to do first? All right, let's go ahead and set up these buttons. All right, so on the map here, all right, if we enable this, it's behind this black fade. All right, so I don't really mess with that too much, just because it deals with the animations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our scroll here and enable that guy. And basically, I just want to, and actually I'm going to disable that. And let's get back to that disable. We don't even need it enabled. What we're going to be doing, we're going into the scroll. And inside the scroll, there's a button for close. We want it to basically close on itself when you press this. So to do that, it's really simple. We're going to add an event here. And it's just going to add itself as a game object, the scroll. And then we can simply just say set active is false. So here, game object, and then set active bool, and you can just set that to false. All right, so when we click that button, it's going to close. And then same for the start button. For the start button, we're going to go ahead and basically call something in the level manager that's going to start current scene. And I'm sure we're going to have some sort of animation effect where it kind of fades out. And then when it starts the scene, it's going to do its fade in thing. All right, so let's go ahead here and test that functionality out first. All right, so go ahead. Let's click on here. Let's see. All right, we're going to start. And we need to make it too. When we click on the pit, we want to go ahead and open that scroll up. So we'll do that in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on the scroll. All right, we can go ahead here and X out, and it closes. So I don't know if Al's going to add some animation or not, but we'll create some functionality to be able to allow that. It looks a bit edgy when I move it. I'm not 100% sure. Vatic, if you're in one of the official Unity courses, you can post in the hashtag programming channel, and I can take a look at it later, or someone can help you in real time. All right, so what do we want to add here? So our scroll is working. Let's go ahead and make it so that we can maybe scroll this guy. All right, so basically what we need to do here on the map, we need to be able to use our fingers and scroll the map. All right, so to do that, there is something I believe called a scroll group. And for this, we are going to want to see this in the editor. So let me go ahead and check out what's going on here. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to turn off this guy. All right, and turn the map on. Okay, so in order to do this, we need to add a scroll group, basically. So inside here, we have our map, backgrounds, and let's see here. Really, I think it's this guy who has to move. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be this map background image. So what we can do here, I believe there's something called a scroll rect. And what we can do with this is add, I believe, a content bar. So the content bar for the scroll rect is going to be itself, hopefully. And we might have to look up how to do this on Unity, but let's see here if we can control this. So basically, here's some movement type, elasticity or clamped. We definitely want it to be elastic. This is like the friction or how the tension level. Inertia, scroll sensitivity. All right, so let's go ahead here and see if that will just work. So if we run this, we should be able to do something on it. All right, here's our map, and we can. So as you can see here, we can actually pick this thing up and drag it in our game view, and that's because of our scroll rect. All right, so we definitely want to make it though so we can only move left and right. So I believe there are properties on this that allow us to set that information. So for the viewport, I'm not 100% which the viewport rect is. That looks a little different than what I remember. But you can choose horizontal and vertical. So we don't want to move vertically. We just want to move horizontally. So we'll save this. And then we'll go ahead and see how much we can move it. Let's see. Alrighty. So here we are. And you can see here, we can now scroll this. All right, so what we definitely want to do is we want to clamp it between these sides. So we want it to be to where you can't scroll anymore to the right if you're here, and then you can scroll to the left to see the map up to here. All right, so that's what we need to figure out how to clamp now. It looks like here you can pass in a viewport, possibly this map viewport, maybe. If we look at the rect transform here, let me see something. We can increase the width of that guy, possibly. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's create a UI image, and let's create a viewport, the length of this map, and we'll use that. So let's call this map length. All right. What do you mean set the size of the viewport? Do you see that property? Is that a property you saw? So here we have a scroll rect. Yeah, we can give it a rect transform basically. And that's what I want to do here. All right, so let me go ahead and put that in front. So it's been a while since I've worked with the UI system with scrolling recs, so we might have to look at the documentation for some things, but we'll figure it out. If we have this, should have borders that you can drag around. Yeah, I was looking for that. Oh, on here, it is here. So maybe I could add itself as the viewport. Maybe I don't need that length. Let's try that. Okay, so that kind of works. It basically only lets me modify it up until there. So what we need to do now, though, is we need to set like boundaries, right? So in order to do that, let's see here. Scroll sensitivity, deceleration rate, elasticity. And if we actually bump that up, guys, you'll see what that does. Oh, you know what? This actually isn't snapping, though. So that's actually not what we want, but actually, hold on. We are going to have to create something custom for this. So possibly we do still need that image. Let's see. Let's go and put it inside here. And we'll zero these guys out. All right, so that's for the map. Go ahead and place it behind the map. Or inside. It's not gonna let me do that. That's annoying. All right, hold on. So let's go ahead and just add some alpha to that. All right, so for our map background here, let's go ahead and add that as a wayport or a viewport. So here's that image, and basically we want to restrict the movement, right? So here, let's set 0.1 there. That's what we want to do. We just want to restrict it. We don't want to be able to go too far. Okay, here we go. So you can see here the whole image is way too big. So let's go ahead and shrink that down. So if we make this like this, we probably can't move it past that. Let's see. Let's get this mapped to it properly. Yeah, I definitely want to clamp this off. Why is it not letting me do that? All right, so let's go ahead and open up Google here and figure out how to clamp that. Let's see here. Scrolling Rect. Let's check out what the API is for it. So we don't want to scroll view here, but we do want to limit this. Let me see. Possibly how to increase the dynamic content side might be what we're looking for. Let's see. Let's upload it a working demo. No, we don't want to update the scroll rect. Let's look at how to create a scroll rect of content. Or scroll view. Let's see. So here, this is just, okay, this is something dynamic they're doing, so we definitely don't want that. I basically just want to set limits. Let's see here. Scroll rect Unity. Let's read about it. Okay, here we go. The content that can be scrolled. It should be a child of the game object with scroll rect on it. Okay, so that could be the problem right there. So what we need to do then is make it so that it's a child, right? So I have a scroll rect on this, and we want to move the map. This needs to be a child. So actually the scroll rect needs to go on the actual map object. So I'm going to remove it from there. And let's go ahead and place this on the map object. Let's set this map back to default. So I'm going to stop playing here. And on here, we added a scroll rect. So let's go ahead and remove that. And let's do this in real time. Get it to how we want. And then we can go back and fix it. Let's see. Hang on. Okay, so, all right, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and turn this black mask wipe off. Let's get into our start. All right, so here's our map. And this guy's going to have a scroll rect. And then the view is the map. All right, and we only want to be able to move horizontally. So let's see if that lets me actually do anything. So it's looking for a content here. Let's hit none for that. And that's going to be the map background. Okay. So it's still not like, okay, here we go. So check that out. So we are getting that elasticity here, and that's what we want. We want that to happen though at the edge, at the other end. So what we might be able to do here is in the map background, you can see here that the map background, it's basically allowed to move its full length up until a certain point, like up until half of this guy. So what we need to do is control this guy's view. So his width needs to actually be adjusted. So what happens if I make this 0 by 0 or a 0 width, just to see how that reacts. So it's getting stopped at its center point here on this map object. Let's see. So what do we need to do? So for starters, we don't want to be able to go this way, right? So to hopefully fix that, what we could do is bring this in. Although it probably needs to actually be this map object, and then we're going to have content within it. So really, we need an image here that's probably going to host the map. So let's go ahead here. Let's duplicate this real quickly, this object. All right, we're going to place it in here, and let's remove this image component. So right now, this is just a Rect transform, and here's our actual map background. That way, we can actually modify this guy to control the scrolling. So here, we can only go halfway to each side, which is fine. But now we need to limit it more. We need to figure out how to limit it more. So what we might be able to do here is let's go ahead and bring this in. All right, so you can see here that that is controlling some scrolling. So we definitely want to make it so that we can't do that. So let's go ahead and actually stretch this guy out. And it looks like it's staying in between this rec here. I'm trying to figure out why it's not letting me modify where it gets clamped to. Okay, so now we can go more that way, so that's good. So let's go ahead and keep pushing it out here. Okay, so check that out. So now I can't scroll it at all. So let's go ahead and see how that looks over here. All right, and let's see. Hang on. Let's add that closer as well. All right, so here we go. So we're kind of figuring out, right, how to get it to that full end. So here, let's go ahead and keep going. Hey, what's up, Temperufka? How's it going? All right, so we just want to keep doing what we're doing just so we can get it to where we can't scroll all the way to the right. And that is about right here. So right now, I can't scroll it to the right, which is perfect. However, I can now scroll it to the left. So you can see here a little bit of blue there. So we now have our scrolling, but we want to make sure that we can't, and you'll see here if I actually do it really quickly, that happens. So we want to make sure that that's not going to happen either. All right, so for that, we can control some of those settings on our map here. So we have elasticity. We can set that to 0, and it should actually just hard rotate. There shouldn't be any elasticness. So you can see here, we can't fling it anymore, and it's not, doesn't go like a rubber band, so it doesn't act like a rubber band. And then here, what we can do, let's get rid of inertia too. Although that was probably helping with the SSC. So let's see here. So what I want to do now is I just want to straighten this guy out a little bit more. So on the map background image, we're just going to increase that. So we can't go past this side. And then we're over here. All right, so let's see here. And we now have multiple of these levels, so we actually wouldn't need these guys. All right, there you go. So here is our scroll. And because we're in play mode, none of this is actually going to save. So we're going to have to redo this. But what's important here is that we created a map object here, which has the map background image, which within that has the actual map items. All right, so we're going to go ahead and recreate this to have it get like this. Did you draw this map yourself? No. Lucky Programmer asked. No, this is actually from Al. It is original map. All the artwork is original for this game. Al creates all of this stuff. So he live streams when I'm not streaming. And he shows the art pipeline. And he's going to be showing character animations and level design and a bunch of UI stuff that he's going to be creating over the next few days or weeks. Let's see here. Okay, so we have our scrolling. All right, I'm happy with that. What do we need to do now? We need to recreate that. So just to make some mental notes here, we have the inertia set to true. We have horizontal, and the content is the map background image. And then within that image is the actual map items. Okay, that's what's really important there. All right, so let's go ahead here. And then also, it might help actually. So here's a really cool trick you guys can do. I don't recommend keeping the prefab that it creates, but we can do this. Check this out. We can create like a temporary prefab so I don't have to actually set this up. Super cool. Would these extra videos be included in the Udemy mobile course eventually or just as an outside resource? So everything that we're doing here, it's actually to just further extend the game. There is extended content coming for course 3. And it does include like a lot of things we're doing here. This though here is just me demonstrating what you can do with a mobile game, you know, extending it out. And this is something that Al and I are actually going to turn into an actual game. So, but course 3 gives you the skill set to be able to do everything that we're doing here. So these live streams are more of just like devlogs and being able to hang out while we develop and think out loud. So you can see what it's like as a software engineer, how to solve problems in real time. And then in the course, we'll be creating extended content for tutorials. Like right now, we're creating kind of a level management thing. There will be a specific tutorial that teaches you that from ground zero on the course as extended content, as well as iOS distributions coming to course 3 as well. So and there's quite a bit of polish. There's a lot of polish items on the list for what's coming out. But you can definitely use what we do here live as like a guide to see what's what inspire yourself to get better. Ghost Dad asked. Okay, sorry, just reading the 2 chats. Cool. So let's go ahead here, and I'm going to show you guys a cool trick. So what you can do here is you can actually take this map object, and what we can do is we can actually just turn this into a prefab. So by doing that, it's going to save all of the properties, and I can go ahead now and just close this out because nothing I did there is going to save. And what I can do here, I'm just going to delete this map now, and I'm going to replace it with the prefab map. Okay, and if we look on the prefab map, we have everything that we saved at runtime. So that's just a quick little cheap hack. And then I would delete this and break the prefab instance. So you'll see here it's red. If you just go to game object, and you can actually break prefab instance. And now it looks like a normal object. So let's go ahead and just check this out. Check it out. So here's our map with our scroll rect. We have our map background image. And then within that, so this guy here, we really probably don't even need. This is the actual, this used to be the old one. And then here's the actual map background. So here we have the map. This is the view rect for the map, I believe. Is that what we're using? Or that's the content. Yeah. All right, so here's our content rect. So this is the map content rect. And then here is the actual map background image with all the other stuff. All right, so here we have map background with all the levels, treasure, and everything like that. So one of the things that I don't know if Al created for me was we want the ability where all of these are going to be grayed, and you can only access them once they're gold. So you beat level 1, and this is going to fade from gray to gold, and it will move your character piece when you click it. So we're going to create like a whole animation sequence for that over the next several days, I'm sure. Hey, how's it going, Garfang? Thanks, Ann. All right, so let's go ahead here and check this out. Let's go ahead and run it, make sure everything is okay. So I'm going to disable the map here because we start off in our main menu. Let's go ahead and run it, make sure everything is okay. And then one thing I do want to do is I'm going to test this on the mobile device and see how it looks. All right, so I am getting our null reference exception here on our canvas object, and it looks like Al is doing something here. Okay, it's for the map. So it's looking for the black mask on map. So black mask on the map, and then it's looking for the map. All right, so I got to redo that because it's not going to save. So the black mask on the map and the map itself. Okay. So let's go ahead and run that again. And let's see here. Awesome, Ghost Dad. Appreciate it. All right, so check this out. So let's go ahead and start here. And we should be able to scroll, and we can. So here's our scrolling map. Perfect. All right, so I am going to test this out on the mobile device. So let's go ahead here. We're going to go to File, Build Settings. We're going to go into our player settings. I believe it's using the key store file at the moment, which it's not, so I take that back. And we're just going to build and run. I have the device plugged into my computer here. So, and using Visor, you guys will actually be able to see my phone. Give me a second here. All right, so I'm going to uninstall the current apps, but let's go ahead and build and run this. So if I have this directly plugged into my computer, it's automatically going to run it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and replace the Dungeon Escape mode, debug mode. And then using Chrome, we can hop into Visor, and you guys can actually see my app. All right. There you go. So we have this up here. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's going to show me a Visor ad in 3 seconds. Great. 1 second. Oh, I guess not. Okay, I thought it was going to. Oh, there it is. So, 1 sec. I can't X out of it. There we go. All right, cool. So we can go ahead here. We can see everything. I'm going to uninstall the current build I have here. And if you guys are interested in checking out the current build, if you're just tuning into the stream, you can always find the latest build on the Google Play Store. So we update it pretty frequently, and I'll do a big update after this as well. So and here's the current version on mobile. All right, so we can start, and let's make sure that that APK is still building. Use highest installed. Okay. So one of the things I noticed here is these buttons are not super accurate. So we do want to fix some of these buttons for sure. And you can see here we're getting about 30 frames per second, which is like your target, right? So your target should be a 30 or above, or as close to 30 as you can get. So right now we have a little bit of, we should be higher than 30 right now. I think part of the problem here is we accidentally released this with debug logs. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but debug logs actually have quite a performance impact on your game. So it's really important that when you, hey, thanks for subscribing, dude. It's really important that when you release your games, you actually remove the debug.log, because if you're calling them frequently, it definitely can hit on your performance. Let's go ahead here, watch an ad. What app is that you can stream your mobile desktop on your PC? Yeah, it's the most amazing, incredible app in existence. It's called Visor. So if you go to Google Chrome, just look up VYSOR, and it just works. It works on PC and Mac. It's a Chrome extension, and it's the greatest thing ever. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it during the course development, so no one could see what was going on my phone. Man, it is such an awesome app. Like, it's how every piece of software should be. It just works. All right, cool. All right, so our build is almost done processing here. So while that is going, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Did any of you guys tune in for Al's live stream of the art pipeline, where he was creating some stuff for the player? Looks like he was creating a boss enemy, actually. See. Thanks, Garfang. Alright, we can get some keys to the castle. Oh, so you know what? I just noticed. I think we broke the functionality of click here for 100 Gs. So we're going to take a look at that and fix that, because I just noticed that's not working. So that definitely should be. So, and I got to figure out what to do with these buttons. So I think we're going to make them a little bit bigger, and then possibly space them out maybe a little bit more. Or we need to do something with our colliders, because sometimes, depending on where you hit, the A, I think, is overlapping on the B. Ghosted says, yeah, thanks for letting me know about Visor. No deal. No problem, dude. It's such an awesome app. I'm mostly 2D, but still find it really interesting and hope to dive into 3D eventually. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the best part about Unity, right, is that you can do both. 3D and 2D, and you know, the pipelines, they're very, very similar. Really, it only changes when you're working in the art pipeline. For software engineering, it's the exact same. If you're getting into rotations, it's a little different, but other than that, not terribly different. So it's always easy to transition. Really curious how the melee combat is made. I tried to do it in the game jam, but it just didn't work out well. Yeah, I mean, the melee combat is, so I'm going to be doing an overhaul on the AI system, but for being able to create accurate hit detections and everything like that, you can definitely check out course 3 in the description of this video. We do create hitboxes and animate them and go over how to damage objects around you. And not care what you're hitting, but if they using interfaces. So it's pretty neat. But we do have planned an overhaul on AI to create engaging, fun AI. So for the course, it was very simple, and we're also going to include it in extended content too, the overhaul of AI. All right, so this guy is almost done. The reason why it took a little bit longer here is because I have IL2 CPP enabled, and that turns it into a native app. So it's just good for performance. Let's see here. So I think I accidentally closed Visor. There we go. All right, so I'm going to uninstall the original app, and we're going to get this new one once it's ready. Alrighty, almost. Let's see. I'm going to put this into in progress and this into in progress. So these two are kind of together. So you can see how much stuff Al is working on currently. He's adding buttons and animations, main menu stuff. He's doing some enemy combat fixes and game audio. All right, cool. So here we go. If we look on Visor, the new app should be there. It is not. Oh, it's almost done. It's not fully done yet. Validating signing release. I have all 3 of your courses. I only completed the first one. I can't wait to start on this soon. Awesome, Dark. Appreciate it. Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it. I hope I know you're on stream on Twitch right now, but I hope you're definitely inside our community because we do monthly game jams, weekly code challenges, and we have a new community site coming out that's like dedicated to game development success, right? And Unity is going to be helping us and allowing me to do a big push on this, which is really cool of them. So we're going to have this ultimate community where you'll be able to have portfolio hosting, you'll have dev blogs, we'll have hosted game jams there. There'll be an integrated game host. It's gonna be really cool. And speaking of that community, we're like experimenting with the name Indie Sharp right now, which kind of looks like Indie Sharp as in terms of, you know, we train indie developers. And let me show you guys this. Hold on. So like we train indie developers, right? So we're thinking, let me see if I can do a fonts thing here. Let's make this just big. All right. So we were thinking like, right, like we train indie developers. So like we were thinking of calling the company like Indie, and then we use Unity primarily, right, as our engine of choice, and we use programming in C# to it or for it. So we figured it'd be cool to do something with Indie Sharp like that, and it's pronounced Indie Sharp. But man, I can't decide on it, like to release it as that, just because I have yet to get a creative design logo that we're happy with. But speaking of that, so we worked with a couple companies to get some designs, and they've all been just really bad right now. But I did just get 8 new concepts back, so I will actually share those with you guys and check them out together. And I'll let you know if I think they are absolutely dog shit or if they're worth, releasing under. Let me see here. Sorry, guys, got some chats. GhostDad said, just finished up a game jam where we use 6 direction melee, basically just hitboxes at each corner and tracking when any object enters or exits, and attacks will affect them if they do. Very cool. Yeah, GhostDad is that's awesome that you're competing in more game jams, dude. GhostDad won our 2nd game jam in the community off his game. What was it? Reflections, I think it was your game. I don't recall the name of it, but it was incredible. It was such a good game. So I don't know if you are extending it. If not, let me know if you are extending it. All right, cool. So that just finished. I really love the lobster logo. It's the one I voted for. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're happy with our Game Studio Defiant Lobster Games logo. We just can't get the same thing for some reason for Indie Sharp. So maybe I'm not describing the community that we're trying to create well enough. Okay, so here we go. All right, so it's going to automatically launch. So here's Defiant Games. And here we are. So there is volume. Oh, just kidding. We don't have main menu music yet. we're getting that developed currently. All right, so let's see here. So what's Q line in? Oh, interesting. I think some of the messages on Restream here are like skipping. Oh no, never mind. They're just like not coming in full order. Okay, guys. So check this out. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, you know what? We don't have the ability to click on the pit. And oh wait, I'm not even testing that. I'm just testing the scroll. Ooh, so check that out. I know it's blurry on the stream probably, but man, it is so smooth in the actual game. So what I do notice though is, do you guys see that blue sliver here? That's actually in game. So let's go ahead and touch that up. But man, it is actually really smooth and crystal clear. So I'm super happy with that. So what we need to do now is we need to be able to tap on these and have our scroll pop up. Oh yeah, Mirage. That was the game, right. I'd like to expand it eventually, but taking a break for a minute. Cool, dude. All right, so let's go ahead and just touch that up. All right, and so the way we can do that is let's open up our canvas here. Let's hide our main menu, open up the map. And on this guy, we need to make sure we turn our black wipe on too, because there's some animations that I was working with here. On this guy, we can see some blue. Okay, that's the problem. So what we need to do here is just make it so that this content scroll is a little bit more out, possibly. And I think just by that should be enough. Let's test it out. Okay. So and here we go. Once again, smooth. All right, sweet. And I think that is good. All right, so one thing we definitely want to do here is we want to turn that back on because there are some animations here. So like if we go back into the main menu here, I want to make sure I didn't mess up anything that Al had working. Otherwise, we'll have to go back in and do it again. So let's go ahead and run this. All right, we have that fade. Okay, yeah, so we didn't have that before. Okay, cool. So what we need to do now is let's go ahead and create a collider that we can actually touch on mobile. And when we click it, before we do any logic about the scroll, let's just go ahead and activate the scroll. So no matter where I click on these, we'll just make number 2 work for now. It's gonna go ahead and pop up the scroll. This start button works, and then we'll get into creating a level manager for that if we have time. So one thing that we want to start doing with the streams is we are going to get on a schedule for developing this so that we can keep them consistent. Also so that we kind of rank higher a bit in getting some YouTube stream going. But we also want to cap these probably at like 2 hours so that they're just not ridiculously long. A while ago when Unity 5 networking came out, I did like a 40-hour marathon stream of the networking system and creating like a network server architecture or a client server architecture, and that was miserable. So nobody's going to get through that much content. All right, let's see here. I'm curious to try. If you guys are interested in checking out some of the games that our community has created, just go to gamedevjohn.com. Just kidding, it's not there anymore. You can actually just go to you can go to jams.gamejolt/gamedevjohn, and that will show you this game submissions for the first jam, and then you can go to gamedevjohn.2 and 3 and so forth. It just increments. So if you go to GameDevJohn 2, oh, and actually, you know what? Maybe not. I wonder if that's no longer there. Jams.GameJolt. Oh, you know what? I actually don't know what Game Jam 3 or 2's community site was. I don't remember the actual webpage for it. Mirage or Ghost, if you tell me what it is, I'll help people get there. This was our recent Game Jam. But I believe it's jams.gamejolt.io. Oh, was it Ultimate Unity Game Jam? Could have been. No, this was our first one. Yeah, this was the first one, so I don't know what it was. Jams.gamejolt. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Game Dev John was too. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, so on this one here, the winner was Mirage by Ghost Dad. So, and it was such a beautiful game. Yeah, Game Dev John 3 was 3. Thank you. So it's going to be nice once we can host these on our actual servers. So also, I told you guys I did get 8 new concepts for the logo design. So let's go ahead and check that out together, and I'll let you know my real-time thoughts. I've been very critical on this logo. I'll show you guys what we currently had so currently we use like Game Dev John, right? And we want to turn this into this really cool community. And currently what we're using, like we just basically did this ourselves. We're like, let's just see what it looks like keeping our current files. And I'm looking for the document. Give me 1 second. So here, this is what we created ourselves, right? It was just like keeping the same logo and just doing indie sharp game dev.start. But like I just like totally didn't love this. So I went to this company and was like, hey, we want something fresh and new. And they royally screwed up the first time. And they give me a bunch of just more of the same back. So let's go ahead and check it out and see if they gave me more of the same or if it's something that is actually cool and we can work with. They sent me about 13 designs of dog shit. And let's see what happens now. Kind of take a look at the revised concepts and provide your feedback. Indeed, thanks for tracking down the page. Yeah, check it out. I tried Guardian and really enjoyed it as well. Hoping to jump into the next jam. Yeah, so the next Game Jam details are going to be released this week for Game Jam 4. It's just been kind of hectic right now because we're looking for content curators and everything like that to get the site ready by the end of the month, which I'm not sure is going to happen, but that's the goal. But we will see. All right, so they gave me some new logos. Let's check them out. So here's the initial ones. I'm going to go just click through these so you guys can see them. And I just want to wait for the stream to update on my end just to make sure that you guys can actually see this. And it looks like you guys are probably 20 seconds or so behind me. Thanks, I'll try Mirage the first time I get. Very cool, looking forward to it. Awesome. All right, it's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys these. And you can see here that nothing is like amazing about it. I do like the color schemes of black and orange, but like it was nothing, it wasn't super. It was the only one that was kind of like fresh. Everything else was really just garbage. If I'm paying money for a logo design, like I expect, or a branding package, I want something that's really awesome. So you can see here, nothing super creative. This one's like, I don't even know what that is, like race car style. And then I don't know what they tried to do here. Like this is like, it looks like an I and a D. I just don't know. I'm not really sure what was going on with it. It's like in die. That's all I see there. So I basically gave them some feedback and I was like, hey, let's fix this. I gave them some things I like. And here is the new ones. So this already off the bat looks like they kind of redesigned some things. So let's go and look through these. So I hope you're doing well. Jonathan, kind of take a look at the revised concepts. So we have the first one here, Indie Sharp, game dev.starts. It's very like interesting. Let me know your real-time thoughts on any of these, by the way, guys. I would love to know your opinions. Let's check this one out. Indie Sharp game dev.start. I don't know, it looks very graffiti-like. This one, I don't know. Indie game dev or Indie Sharp game dev.start. I don't know. This one's way too difficult to read or what it actually is. No. Let's see here. We have Indie Sharp game dev.start. Definitely not happy with that. This one, Indie Sharp game dev.start. This one's actually not terrible. I don't really like the white font here, but not terrible. John, I still haven't received my Steam card gift yet. Very Hot Shark. I will definitely check that out. You and first place, I believe, is Gilmore or Gilmort or something like that. You guys definitely should have already received those. Let me double check after this stream. I'll be wrapping it up here shortly and we'll check it out. But I'll make sure you get that today. This one, Indie Sharp game dev.start. Garbage. And this one, Indie Sharp game dev.start. I'm not sure what they're doing with the I here. All right, so and then they gave me this design again, Indie Sharp, and maybe this one is okay, but honestly, I'm not like in love with any of these. Um, what do you guys think of these? I mean, what are we thinking? Garbage? So it's funny. Our community manager Ryan loves the name Indie Sharp, and I told him I would give it a fair shot. So this is me giving it a fair shot, and we've gone through 8, and we have 12 here. So we've gone through 20 designs. So I'll go ahead and just let him know that we received more of these designs, but definitely better than the initial ones received. But these are all just right, like Joe said, just meh. It's kind of garbage. You think one was maybe my favorite of any of the new ones? So this one, yeah, I'm not even feeling it. You know, I was like, it's just I don't even know. I got to figure out what we're gonna do because I'm open to rebranding the entire community, but like this is maybe Indie Sharp isn't gonna work. So also accepting name suggestions for the community. I only like the one you said. Also said it's okay-ish. Yeah, agreed. So I don't 100% know what they're doing here with the D. I'm not sure how that makes sense on Indie if that's what they're looking for, but we will see. All right, give me 1 second, guys, here, and then we'll get back to what we were doing here. Okay, so we want to add a collider and basically enable that stuff. So let's go ahead and just basically we're going to turn those elements into buttons is the goal. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this black white mask off. And here we are on our map content, map background. So level 1, we're going to have to modify this. I'll put this as level 1. This is actually our stage piece. All right, this is what's going to actually be moving around and so forth. So that needs to not be there. But imagine you were to complete level 1, and here's level 2. All right, we're going to turn that entire image into a button. So we're just going to add a button component. And from there, all we want to do is basically add the ability to turn on the scroll. So we're going to give it the scroll object. We're going to say function is going to be game object, and then we're going to set active to true. So we just check it. So we can handle all of this in the inspector, and we definitely should. There's no reason for me to have to use the interface events or the event handlers to register for the clicks through code when I can just do it through the inspector. All right, so here we have our map background. We created a button for this guy, so it's clickable, interactable is set to true. So we should be able to tap on that, and it's going to open the scroll. All right, so let's go ahead here. We're going to close the map. We're going to turn on this object. All right, run it. All right, so let's try this. Main menu. All right, so we click on that, and there's our scroll. So that works really well. And then we can X out of this. And you'll see here that Al did create an animation. So he's going to have to create a fade out animation. All right? I let him handle all of that stuff because it's artsy. And then what we're going to do next is when he hits start, we need to know which level we picked up and then start that specific level. So basically each one of these will be associated with a scene index. And based on which one you clicked, we're going to talk to the level manager and it's going to say, hey, you just clicked on level 2. We're also going to get into persistent data because in order for this, when we come back to this menu, in order for it to know, hey, which levels have you just completed and so forth, it might be important that our level manager sticks around between scenes. That way it knows information about the current level and it can stay with the game. We also are probably going to get into AWS Mobile Hub because what happens if you were to uninstall the game and where do we want to save this game state, right? What if you uninstall the game and reinstall it? All of your data in progress will be gone. So we're actually going to get into AWS Mobile Hub, and we're going to integrate their services. I forgot what it's called, their database. But we're going to implement a cross-platform database using a NoSQL database so that we can save data cross-platform. So no matter where you are in the world, whatever device you're on, you'll pick up where you left off in this game. So, and we're probably, I don't know if we're gonna, I don't know if I can add extended content on AWS, but there will be a future course on asset bundles in AWS as well. So that is already in the works. I like adding action on button through code. Yeah, so you can definitely register your buttons using an on-click action event for sure. Yeah, you definitely can. And that's more so for like customized effects. I'm not doing anything custom here, so it's, you know, it's fine for me to just use the inspector defaults. But yeah, you can definitely register event listeners like that. So, and for those who don't know what that add listener is and what's inside that, that's called a lambda expression. And we'll be getting into lambdas, delegates, events, anonymous methods, um, and probably namespaces in, and action and funcs too, in course 4. There's going to be a lot of cool new programming stuff. What did you say that option that makes app native was called? Also, Dungeon Escape runs at 11 FPS on my phone. General Mobile 4G, which is odd. 3-second delay while jumping, but still fun. Interesting. What's a General Mobile 4G? What's a General Mobile? Is that I'm not familiar with the Android market. What kind of phone do you have? And then also, what did you say that option that makes an app native was called? It's called IL2CPP. So inside your project settings, if you go to build settings and you go to your player settings, if you go to other settings, there's something down here called scripting backend. I'm using IL2CPP, and that requires what's called NDK. So in the course, we show you how to set up the SDK, which is the minimum requirement to run Android on your phone. But if you want it to run as a native app, you can install what's called NDK, and we are going to add extended content on setting up native for course 3. But if you actually were to go to preferences, and if you go to external tools, you'll see here that I have SDK installed, JDK installed, as well as NDK installed. So NDK is what allows you to use the IL2 CPP backend. And it's just better performance. Let's see here. All right, so I do want to test this on mobile, but I think there's one more thing I would like to start. We have the X button and then we have the start button. So we can make the start button go ahead and get into the whole level management stuff, which I think I'll save for another stream because this would be a good stopping point on getting just the functionality that we're looking for. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do a final build and run again. I'm going to open up my phone here. Let's uninstall the current version. All right. We're going to use the highest installed. And I'm just uninstalling it from my device here. So using Visor, you guys can check this out. All right, and we'll let it sit there. So this does take, unfortunately, NDK is a lot slower because it's just building natively. So it takes probably, I'd say, 5 minutes longer than the traditional, wait time. But yeah, so you can use this time to ask your questions if you have any, or talk about anything game dev related. Time for me to go. I will see the recorded video at some point. All right, see you later, Garfang. There's not much time. We'll be out of here in probably 15 more minutes. Let's see. So the next time we stream will probably be on Monday, and we'll go ahead and create the level manager, the instant or the singleton manager for the level manager, and then we'll get into persistent data and making sure that based on where we click, we know which scene we should load. So we'll create some dummy scenes. Thanks for the explanation. I've sent you a link to that phone specs on Discord. Okay, cool. Let me check that out. So here, let's see. All right, so you have a General Mobile 4G. Okay, so this looks like a good phone. So you should definitely be getting a much higher frame rate. With decent specs running on Android 6, it features a 5-inch 720 display. CPU, let's see here. Yeah, that's super interesting. So here's... Oh my gosh, my phone is playing an ad. Let me tell you how annoying that is when my phone plays an ad. All right. So, yeah, I mean, this phone doesn't look that bad. It should actually be able to. I mean, you have a quad core in this thing. You definitely should be able to get 30 frames per second, and that's a downside, guys, to like Android development, right? Is you have to. There are so many options when it comes to Android. I remember when I was working at Adult Swim, I think we had maybe 40 different phones that we had to test these games on, and that was in 40 of them were just for Android, right? They're all different flavors of Android. The devices were all different makes and models, different price tiers, and then we had 6 iPhones because at the time there was only an iPhone 6. So it was iPhone 6, 5, and 4, and then we had the plus version of the 6. Like it was so much easier to develop for iOS than it is for Android. Android's a great market to release on and build your game and test, and then once it's ready for iOS, you can port it to that. But you do get into problems where, like, on certain devices, it just, it's different for everyone, which really sucks. I use what is this called? This is a Samsung Galaxy S5. So this is what I'm working with. And I think I got it for $100 off of Amazon. So I do know that Galaxy S series is pretty popular, at least here in the States. Let's see. All right, we're just waiting for this thing to finish building here. All right. Oh, you know what? I did get something interesting actually really happened. Thanks, Jose. I've sent you a link on the phone specs. Okay, thanks. Something interesting happened the other day. Let me see if I can pull this up. So every now and then, right, from just my courses, my streams, someone who stumbles across these gets, they usually send out like a thank you note or something like that saying, hey, thank you for your amazing courses. And this one guy who took my course was a game artist, and he actually gave me his art pack for free. And it's a $200 art pack. And I was talking to the guy, and the art pack is really good. And I'm actually going to create YouTube tutorials with his art pack. And after talking with him, I'm actually going to work out something to help him sell his art pack, and provide it at an affordable cost for the Game Dev John community. And I'll show you what those art assets are like. It's a $200 pack, and I'm blown away by the quality of the assets. So let me just go ahead and show you this. So here you go. It's this guy. So he sent me an email and he's like, hey, thank you for your course. And as like gratitude, please accept a free copy of my asset pack. So basically he created this Ultimate 2D Fantasy asset pack, and it's for people who don't have artists, and it's a complete pack with animations, and it's really, really good. And you can see here is the graphic quality. So you can create everything from RTS games to turn-based tactical, MOBAs, and everything is complete. It's a complete pack, and you can create an RPG out of it. And everything has like 3 animations here that you need. And it gives you the source file too, which is incredible. So the PSDs for everything. And it's just really good quality. So I told him that I'm going to start making tutorials out of this, and we're going to work on getting a deal for our community students to make sure that they can get this at like an affordable rate. Because right now it's $197, and I told him that's way too high for most people. So, but the investment required for the Ultimate 2D aspect is not 3,600 or 200, not even 300. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, you can get this thing for $197. But I would recommend waiting a bit because we're going to get something unique for the Game Dev John community. But the art pack is actually really good. I was blown away by the quality of it. So, it's just cool to share. Let me know if you guys actually like this or want to be able to get this at an affordable rate, because it is packed full with a bunch of stuff. All right, the app has finished, so let's go ahead and play this. All right, Dungeon Escape, here we go. All right, so we're gonna hit start. We can scroll the map. Oh, it's so good. So good. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna hit the pit. And there we go. Check that out. That is awesome. All right, so the pit. And it's very responsive. So that looks really good. And all the buttons work. Very cool. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap up this stream. The next part of this is going to be actually creating the level management system and probably getting into a little bit more animations. I got to ask Al what he wants to do about how to move this character piece, because we are going to have some animation, and then also fill it in with like a red line. So I got to talk to him about ways we can do that. And then we'll live stream development for this. So, and then we also got a release date, I think, for Course 4. I got an email about it. So I think they're shooting for I want to say end of August or beginning of August. It's going to be one of those. I have to double check that. But we're shooting for August. So development has already started. There's just some approval things in the works right now. But that's going to be a course focused on real-world applications in Unity, using game development as a gateway to software engineering, because the logic and problem solving applied to game development carries over seamlessly to the corporate world. So I've developed applications for Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, and I've developed applications for the casino industry, Coca-Cola, AT&T, ThyssenKrupp, GE, and these are not game companies. So the knowledge you apply to games works and carries over seamlessly to the corporate world. So we're creating a course to demonstrate that and to turn you guys into software engineers, or get you interested in that field to be able to use Unity as a tool in your career. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with my famous ad. I'll hang around in the chat for a bit if you guys have questions. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in Discord. See you later. Hi, my name is Jonathan Weinberger, and I've been developing games with C# and Unity for the last 6 years. I've helped thousands of developers learn to code and improve their skill sets. I currently teach game development on Udemy, an online marketplace for courses. Udemy has over 17 million students learning everything from game development to piano or cooking. Enjoy courses on any device and at your own pace with lifetime access. My course, The Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity, is designed to teach you the fundamentals of C# programming in Unity. We'll cover everything from receiving user inputs to creating destructible objects. By the end of this course, you'll make 2 high-quality games you can share with the world. This course is for anyone who wants to learn game development or refine their technique. Whether you're interested in game development as a hobby or you want to make games professionally, this course will grow your programming skill set and help you go on to make your own games and applications. Click on the link in the bottom left of the video player to access a special discount for this course. I look forward to teaching you more about game development with Unity and C# on Udemy.